Well, we were down at on location at a waterfall, and we got to talking about our tripod situation. Now, Ricky and I, Ricky's with me here today. Ricky and I bought these Feisol CT3442 tournament tripods about 3 years ago. And we paid pretty good money for the sticks. But the thing we don't like about them is the legs. They stick, and then you got to take them apart, and you got to clean them. And even if you clean them, it really doesn't do any good. I'm to the point now where I'm over it. I had a tripod leg that had cracked last year, and they replaced it under warranty. My tripod is now out of warranty, and I bought a repair kit then to replace the rings inside the legs, and that helped for a while, but now we're back to the way it was last year, and it's a pain in the butt. And I'll show you here in just a little bit how much of a pain in the butt it is. Now, we bought these. Where did we buy these from?
B&H.
No, not B&H. Who did the video and recommendation on these tripods? Nick Page?
Nick Page did one.
Yeah, Nick Page had done a video on these, and that's what really got us to thinking about them. They're lightweight. They're a pretty good travel tripod, and we use them almost on every hike we go on. But we both are having the same trouble. Both of our legs are failing. You can't slide them in and out easily. Sometimes they get stuck, and then you got to take the leg apart and unscrew it. So, we're not fans of the twist lock legs. I don't care for them. This is the first tripod I've had. You don't like them either, do you?
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Heard that. So I'm looking at doing something different. Not too sure what that's going to be. I really hate to give up this Feisol tripod because it does work pretty well. It's really ironic because Rick and I both have the Acrotech ball heads on them, and we do like the ball heads a lot, but not the tripod, not the sticks.
Anyway, I'm gonna see if I can get this thing to do that.
What, that tripod?
Yeah, the twist locks.
What's that?
One of these legs does it pretty good.
That's the Enduro, isn't it?
Yeah.
AT, what's that?
AT212, I think. No, 214.
AT214.
Yeah.
Well, Ricky pulled out a different tripod today. He's using an Enduro. I got my Robus, my big boy. What's that?
I said, there we go. This tripod leg, even if you, that should be sufficient enough to pull it out, which is gonna make a liar out of me now, but it is really stiff. It will hang up to the point where you have to almost completely unthread it to get it to move.
That's the twist lock.
And that's the twist lock. I've owned a Gitzo, I've owned this one, and the Feisol all with twist locks, and I've had problems with all three of them.
All the twist locks.
All the twist locks.
Now, how many of the, what do they call that other lock system? It's a flip
lever.
Yeah, the flip lever. How many of those have you owned?
I have owned two of those. Both of them one of them was a Bogan, but that was actually Manfrotto.
Yeah.
Now they just call them Manfrotto tripods. And the only problem I had was the last one. One time the leg fell off. As a matter of fact, it was when I met Ron here.
Yeah, that was pretty funny that day.
And I don't know why it did that.
Who's this goofball?
It never did it after that.
Yeah, but that was the Manfrotto.
Yes. And I mean, they worked. You flip the lever, it comes out like it's supposed to.
Did you remember the model number of that one?
055.
055. They still sell those.
Oh yes.
But anyways, money's tight. But I'm really seriously thinking about trying to find another tripod. I really am. That's how much dissatisfied I am with the Feisol. So the tripod I owned for almost 20 years was a Manfrotto 3221 WN. It came in two flavors. It came in black, it came in green, like a forest green. So it had a Manfrotto RS2 ball head on it. That's what I had on it until I switched off. I bought this Feisol to go to carbon fiber with, because that one was aluminum, that old Manfrotto. It was heavy, but man, 20 years, I never had problems with it. Had it in the salt water, had it in the mud, I had it everywhere. It just got too heavy to carry. So I sold it. Now I wish I had not sold that tripod. I wish I still had it. So why did you have that big old ball head? What'd you call it again?
It's a Bogan 38 Super Monoball. And I had it to hold up a 400 f4 Tamron fixed focal length lens.
Oh, I got you.
And that thing was like built like a tank. It did not move. It was solid.
What was you using that 400 millimeter lens for?
Mainly Cades Cove, bears, deer, birds, just anything.
One of the things I like is that I've been using my 70 to 200 more for landscape photography, and I really like what it does. How, you know, the different perspective it gives you than a wide grand landscape where you can zero in on a barn or something with some hay bales around it.
Yes.
I really like that. I shot some of that yesterday in Grassy Cove. There's some hay bales down there still, and I used it yesterday. So I like what a telephoto lens does to your landscape photography.
Yeah, just flip.
Now it's recording. Oh, wait a minute. Now it's recording. Okay, so here's the problem with this thing. If you pull it out too hard, it gets stuck and you can't get it back in. And if you're out doing photography and stuff, it's a pain in the butt. So the only way to fix it is to take it apart and get the rings back in line. So you gotta unscrew this knob all the way like this. And just imagine you're out here doing some photography and the sun's setting. Okay, and you're missing your shot because you gotta fix your tripod. And then these rings, it pulls out, and you got all these little rings right here. Now these rings got slots cut in them. You can see them. They have to line up. This is the stop, is what I consider the stop. Keeps the leg from falling out of the tripod socket here. Well, the way it works, it's got a couple little indentations in the rod here, and then there's a little thing sticking out that has to go in that hole, lack of a better word, and you kind of get that so it sits down in there like that so it doesn't turn. It's a little loose, okay? I just don't think that's a very good idea. Then the tube itself has a keyway in it that this has to slot in. All this has to slot in and line up. So you got to look inside the tube. This one here happens to be on this side, and you could gently push it in there so that stays flat. You don't want it, see it's trying to ride up. And once you get that started, you got to line these up, and you got to get them in there in the right place. Like I said, that keyway's right there. It's kind of hard to see with the sunlight. And these rings, don't take these rings off of this tube unless you make a photograph of it so you know how they go back on, because they go back on in a certain way. They're beveled. Then once you get that back together like that, you screw this back on. Meanwhile, the sun's setting, and you just lost all your light. And I'm trying to get this started again. I'm turning it backwards, trying to get it threaded. I don't know why it's messing up here. There it goes. You just imagine doing this out there while you're trying to photography. That's why it's aggravating, okay? So I'm gonna get it all screwed back in. If you don't have it put back together right, you'll still have some threads showing here. You should not have any threads showing there. That should tighten right up like that. Now that leg is tight. And I'm gonna loosen it, and I slide it back in. She's working again. But I feel like if you pull these out too fast or too hard, something happens in here and it messes up, because you got 3 sections here. So I try to be gentle with it, okay? So when I put it back together, you see how gentle I'm being? Because I'm afraid it's gonna break again. So that there is the Feisol CT3442 Tournament. These are 3-year-old tripods. We bought them on a recommendation off of a YouTube channel. I since noticed when I went back and looked at the YouTube channel, the gentleman has kind of retracted his recommendation for these. And personally, I'm probably never gonna buy another Feisol. I'm probably gonna look back at Manfrotto's or one of those again. And I'm definitely gonna get away from the twist locks because I just don't like them. I'm not a big fan of them. So there you go.